Is this the moment the man of the people finally lost his cool under the pressure of a growing political firestorm? Bernie Sanders, a man who has spent decades preaching transparency and accountability, just had a very public, very aggressive meltdown when a reporter dared to ask him about one of his own endorsed candidates. Before we continue, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in US politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow and ensures you don't miss out on the stories the mainstream media might be trying to downplay. The controversy centers on Graham Plattner, a Democratic Senate candidate in Maine who was officially endorsed by Sanders back in August of 2025. You'd think an endorsement would come with a thorough background check, but that's where things start to get messy. Recently, an extensive archive of Plattner's old Reddit activity, some 2,000 posts made under the username phustle, has been unearthed. We aren't talking about standard political disagreements or heated online debates here. We are talking about content that is genuinely shocking. In these posts, spanning over a decade, Plattner has made vulgar, crude, and deeply offensive remarks. He has been caught writing about his sexual habits in portable toilets, mocking wounded U.S. soldiers who received Purple Hearts, and even suggesting that rape victims should take responsibility for their own experiences. He has even gone so far as to praise the tactics of Hamas. When a reporter from Fox News Digital approached Bernie Sanders in the Capitol to ask if he stood by his endorsement of a man with such a disturbing digital trail, Sanders didn't offer a nuanced political answer. Instead, he snapped. "Who do you work for?" Sanders demanded, his frustration bubbling over. When told it was Fox News Digital, Sanders didn't address the content of the posts or the morality of his endorsement. He shot back, "Why don't you talk to your owner, Mr. Murdoch, and ask him for a raise so you can get a better job?" It was a classic deflection, an attempt to undermine the messenger rather than confront the message. But it left everyone watching with a simple question: why is a senior senator so triggered by a legitimate question about a candidate he chose to back? And it's not just Sanders. The wider Democratic response or lack thereof has been telling. When other senators were asked about Plattner's resurfaced history, most chose to retreat into the shadows. Richard Blumenthal claimed he hadn't seen the posts. Angus King, the senator from Maine himself, said he wasn't going to take any position at all. Mazie Hirono looked visibly uncomfortable, asking on whose, when the topic was raised, before deciding she wasn't going to get into it. Jeff Merkley, perhaps the only one to offer a coherent, albeit passive, defense, argued that the decision should be left entirely to the voters of Maine and that the public should be the ones to judge Plattner's journey and evolution. But here is the real analysis. This isn't just about one candidate or one bad Reddit account. This is about the vetting process in the modern political era. When a candidate has a decade of digital footprints that are this toxic, it begs the question: did the Democratic leadership not look, or did they simply not care? By choosing to deflect and dismiss legitimate questions as nothing more than partisan hacks looking for a story, these senators are essentially telling the American public that they don't feel the need to be held accountable for who they promote. If you endorse a candidate, you are effectively vouching for their character. When that character turns out to be tied to mocking disabled veterans or making crude jokes about rape, then it's up to the voters' defense starts to sound less like a commitment to democracy and more like a dereliction of duty. We are seeing a pattern where party loyalty is being placed above the moral standards voters expect from their representatives. So, I have to ask you, where is the line? Is Sanders' refusal to answer a valid question an indication that he's out of touch, or is he right to tell the media to back off? Does a candidate's past digital life matter as much as their current platform, or are we being too harsh by digging into old social media threads? This is a massive test of integrity for the party, and their reaction or lack thereof tells us everything we need to know about the current state of political discourse. So what do you think about this? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one, and I want to know if you think Sanders' reaction was a total PR disaster or a calculated move to protect his political allies. We are keeping a close eye on this, so stay tuned for more updates as this story develops. Thank you for watching.